welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. So we're at a downward angle today because we're going to do a building my own palette featuring my single shadow that is in my pan, those eyeshadows. I have it already pulled in here. It's this guy here, a nice bright blue, perfect for the fall and autumn. Happy October. So this pan was in my pan, those eyeshadows last time, and I did hit pan. I've repressed it because this is a very flimsy shade, but you'll notice a big change in my palette, and that is I finished up this shade here, which was from the Morphe 35F Fall into Frost. This was the shade Swoon. This was the only remaining shadow in that palette that I had, and I am so happy that I finished that off. This is a good, this was a really pretty shade, and I used it a lot in my everyday wear to work look. I wore it 10 times this month because I go to work every other week, 5 days a week. So I will post a I'll post a picture of the look that I was panning. I used this and accompanied it with this. That was predominantly what I used for this little 9 pan. Really excited. I think I'll do like a comparison shot now, and I'll post the other so you can see kind of the difference in this. Really mainly focused on that Swoon shade, but I did pull in a transition shade because I didn't really have one in my pan those eyeshadows or in this palette here. So I'm going to take everything out of this, clean this palette up, and then I'm just going to leave this. Sorry if I whacked the camera, and then I'll just leave this shade in there. So really quick do that. Okay, one of my favorite things in this is actually getting like a nice clean palette, because the palette gets so dingy when I use it. I'm just apparently pretty rough with my eyeshadow, so I'm going to just stick this guy in, and then this is like the shade that just lives in there forever. I think next month I will finish off that little sliver that I've been using in my brows, and I'm so excited. That is the last shade that's remaining in my Lorac Pro palette. So, I really don't know where to go with this. I really love creating these types of palettes. I think that they're very inspiring to me. However, I really don't know where I want to go with this because I really am not drawn to a color like this for this time of year. I have 0 shimmers though in my rotation for my pan those eyeshadows, so I'm thinking I want to pull some more shimmers out to play with clearly because I don't have any. I think that this would be a great excuse to really focus on the shimmers that I have, and maybe one transition shade to kind of help blend some of these things out. And for that transition shade, I am going to actually pull out this guy here. This is Canvas from the Morphe James Charles palette. This will just help me with starting out my looks or blending out things like this bright blue. Because I think I want to pull a nice bright inner corner shade. And for that, I'm going to pick ColourPop the Big 3, which I think is this one. No. Yeah. So I'm going to pull ColourPop the Big 3. This is a really beautiful, oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh. So I'm going to pull this guy out. This is ColourPop the Big 3. I hope you can see in like this. It has a nice ship to it. I think this will pair really well with this blue, and then any other eyeshadow that is in the rotation. Just because it has kind of an interesting shift, and I can wear it with anything really. So I'm going to pull that guy out. Alright, now is the tricky part because I really don't know where to go with this. Maybe I should pull some shadows that are newer, that I haven't really gotten a lot of use out of yet. Mainly the single shadows that I brought into my collection this year. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is bring in this guy. This is Glaminatrix Cosmetics Bunny. This is the shade Bunny by Glaminatrix. And it has a really interesting flip to it. It's a really pale blue with a really strong gold. So the blue isn't really pronounced in it. It's really mainly that gold, but just like a hint of a blue. So I think that this would go really well with that blue shade Brother. Oh my gosh, I'm like at a loss right now. This is extremely hard for me to like pick. maybe another gold shade. Maybe something gold to kind of complement the yellows and oranges I have. No, yeah, I do want to pick that. That's going to be really pretty. So this is Glaminatrix Chick. This is another newer one. Again, it was in their Easter bundle. I am sorry if I keep hitting the camera, but that will look really, really beautiful with that yellow that I'm currently panning. So I'm going to pull this guy out as well. I try to think of everything that I'm panning when I'm doing these. That way I can kind of get a full color story to complement the other tones that I'm working on. I'm working on that bright pink, so maybe I should pull something pink into this. And I'm thinking maybe this guy here. This is Kristen Lee Cosmetics in the shade Bloom. Really, really pretty. Like that shift. Ooh. And it kind of almost has like a blue to it if you tilt it in the right way. So this might also really pair well with that blue shade. Yeah, we'll pull that. Looking rather Eastery rather than autumnal, I think, but that's okay. To kind of go back to the autumnal, I'm debating between this guy here, which is 20 something, and this guy here, which is Bright Eyes. I'm going to swatch these both in Bright Eyes. Should I just bring both of them in? Yeah, I'm going to just bring both of these in. I think that they'll be really beautiful. One more shade. I mean, this looks so Easter to me. Like, that does not read autumn at all, in my opinion, but beggars can't be choosers. It is okay. Would throwing something like this in go well? Ooh, actually, I don't want to use this blue. I think this blue is throwing me off on it. So I'm going to put this guy back. And I think I'm going to pull this guy, which is Cape Cod from the Morphe James Charles palette. Okay, I think I'm going to pull a green just to kind of hit the fix that I'm really craving, which is getting those like olivey green tones into this. And I think that is going to be this kind of wonked out shade. I depanned or depotted my Morphe 30. I've depotted all of my Morphe palettes, but this is the shade Express Yourself from the 35M Boss Mood. I hope you can see that the pan is kind of like points out in these ways. It's smushed, so I have to be extra delicate with this palette now if I pull this out, which is kind of leading me to not want to pull this out. Yeah, actually, I'm going to pull this out, which is Dandelion's Company Dirty Martini. It's just so beautiful. Like, these are the colors I really want to wear. Like, that's so pretty. And I feel like I could wear this with the yellow and this, and even this. I mean, I feel like I can pair a really interesting eye look with this. So I'm going to pull Dirty Martini. Is that how I want it to look? It looks kind of pastel still. Maybe I should pull like glass bowl instead. So maybe I will put back Kristen Lee Bloom, and then I'm going to replace it with glass bowl, which I think is just going to be a little bit more muted but still beautiful in this. That'll help kind of, yeah, that made a huge difference. That pink was really skewing this for me. So I am going to go ahead, I'm going to swatch these. I'm going to slap these into this palette so they're not just floaters. And then I'm going to be right back and swatch these with you guys. actually, I'm not too mad at like this arrangement of colors. I feel like Glass Bowl can lean so many different ways due to like the shift that it has. And then of course this shade here is like everything that I want to wear right now. Olivey tones and like these oranges, that's kind of what I'm drawn to for this time of year. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my creating my build your own palette for this year. Or not this year, this month. Let me know if you like these kinds of videos. I can continue to do these depending on if I pull in a single eyeshadow like in this kind of form. Let me know if you liked this palette, if there's anything else you would have picked into this. Granted, I really only like to try to focus on a 9-pan, that way I can use every shade at least once, or at least try to use every shade at least one time. But yeah, until next time, I hope you guys are staying healthy, staying sane, and staying safe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!